beautiful soul. We're here to reflect together upon learning through a quantum lens about the structures of frequency through the lenses of our inner being. So we hear a lot of information about frequency and how frequency is the dictator of our reality. There's a lot of that information available to us. And I wanted to really deconstruct what this means through the lens of the quantum field and the architecture of our inner being and how that links us to frequency and how we can begin looking at or go deeper into the different centers of our being that are connecting us to source in a deeper way, to our oversoul's architecture in a deeper way. So if you feel to come into some semblance of stillness wherever you are, it doesn't necessarily mean to be physically still, although that is beautiful too if you're coming into a seat or to lay down. The most important thing though is to invite your conscious mind, your awareness deeply into the heart, deeply into the body. So maybe you're driving or receiving this somewhere where you can't be completely still. Just bringing all of you into the now moment, letting your mind merge with the heart. And let's go into what's really here for you, wherever you are. What can you see with your eyes? Without running them through the lens of the mind, just seeing through the eyes of the heart. What is here? Dropping labels or feelings to the best of your capacity and just sensing through the eye pathway. And what can you hear? Sensing through the ear pathway, through the heart, just hearing through the heart. And you may start to notice as you tune in like this, the senses as the gateways between the outer world and the inner world. And drawing the attention to the nose and the nostrils now, the sense of smell. And the place that the oxygen enters and the carbon dioxide leaves the body. Noticing what information is currently coming in through your nose, through the heart. Allowing it all to just be. As you sense any information that your skin or the air around you is offering, is there any breeze or wind or temperature? Feeling the whole of the skin and the sense of touch. And any textures of clothing or surfaces that you are making contact with. And just noticing the mouth, the lips, the opening of the mouth, the functions of the mouth, Noticing if there's any slight taste in there, any moisture or dryness, any conversation that you feel in your heart or your chest, any unspoken words maybe sitting around your thyroid, just noticing what is here for you. And breathing into all of your sense organs now. Just expanding that awareness to the whole of the body and the way that you receive and give out into the world. How you, as an organism, a beautiful, unique fractal of all that is, noticing how you're feeling and just gently shifting your awareness now from the outer landscape to the inner landscape. And without bringing the conscious mind into it, just sensing through the heart space what is really here for you. And maybe that is some mind tension or busyness in the mind, looping thoughts. Just letting whatever's truly here. Maybe there's some tension somewhere, an ache or a pain. Maybe spaciousness, joy, lightness, maybe numbness, maybe nothing at all. Just letting it all be. Without trying to shift or change, just notice. And let your awareness be the invitation of allowing, the permission for you to be exactly as you are. And you're welcome to pause this and sit with and be with yourself for as long as you feel to, or as long as you desire. Maybe you would like to offer yourself something. Maybe you've realized I really need a drink of water, or to go to the toilet, or to give myself a hug, to offer myself some loving touch, or to expand my heart and exist a little more from the heart space. Maybe it's to offer some compassion to yourself. Maybe you've gotten really wound up in your to-do list or a particular emotion or the way that a relationship is playing out in your current reality. Offering yourself whatever you need right now. Maybe it's to change shapes with your body. Making room for your beautiful human experience. And if you feel ready to connect a little more deeply to Source, to your oversoul, and to the frequency of all that is, we can begin to do that now in the quantum field. So just letting your receiving body gently open now that we've found some stillness and really being with what is here for us. We're able to breathe and allow our receptive body to open a little more deeply to Source and whatever wishes to be transmitted through this transmission right now into your field. So just allowing your oversoul and the highest loving frequency of Source to enter through your light bodies, your connection to your oversoul, which is connected directly to Source. Feeling the light from your soul just coming down through the crown of your head now. shining through every single cell of your crown, your aura flooded with light, clearing and harmonizing anything in your environment, asking any energies, souls or frequencies that are currently attached to your field to be released now with love. I can feel the beautiful higher dragon realms offering protection and elevation and recollection of your sovereignty and your sacred power through this transmission also. As you call back into your body, directly into your field, all of your soul's unique and sacred power back into your solar plexus, back into every center of your body, feeling your heart and your solar plexus recalibrate, and feeling the frequency of your soul uniting with your oversoul inside your body now, every layer now clearing and aligning you and aligning you to the golden frequency of the earth star now, clearing your connection to the earth, asking anything no longer serving you in the earthly plane to clear, really allowing you to anchor into a new vibration within as these centers of the brain, mind, the heart, the power center, the sacral or the womb if you're a womb bearer, and the earthly realm lifetimes, the contracts that brought you to earth and are in your field, are now clearing and recalibrating as it serves each and every soul in a beautiful high frequency and sovereign way, reminding every single being in this field that this is a sovereign transmission of light and that no harm can come from this space. This frequency is recalibrating your cells to source, love, unity, consciousness, clearing any dissonance within your being and upgrading the frequency of each and every organ and cell. So anywhere that your heart, your mind, any of your senses, or any of your internal organs will benefit from recalibrating, reharmonizing, and realigning to the highest loving frequency, are now doing so. Taking nice, deep, long, steady breaths in, slowing your breath and deepening your breath, allowing the breath to support the movement of any energy through your cells as your DNA is literally shifting and moving now. You might feel some tingling or lightness, or maybe you can feel everything that's shifting through this transmission of love as service to your soul and every soul in the grid in the absolute highest. And inviting all of your awareness, wherever it is, into the chambers of your heart, into the highest cavity of your heart, feeling the organ of your heart pumping your precious blood around, your fresh oxygenated blood reaching every single cell, all the way up to your brain, to the top of your head, down to the tips of your toes, feeling your blood golden crystalline now, flushing your blood, flushing the systems of the lymph and the processes of elimination and digestion, all of your meridians, recalibrating, and feeling your heart now expanding out into the entirety of the chest, the heart space amplifying as your higher heart activates and your galactic heart as it serves, connecting you completely to the frequency of your unique oversoul soul's essence, asking anything to close that's no longer serving you, and activating and opening anything that will serve you in the embodiment of your soul's frequency here on earth. Thank you to all of the beautiful frequencies and beings in this space, serving earth in their co-creation and elevation of their spirits, of their soul's frequencies and essence to align with the physicality, with the third dimensional frequencies and the and the evolution of the soul and the consciousness of the human in each and every divine vessel, clearing your vessel as a divine instrument for source, for your soul to flow through in the most pristine, loving and high frequency, easeful way. Feeling into the whole of your bone structure now, feeling all of your bones and your joints beautifully illuminated, healing and strengthening, and connecting your oversoul to the bone structure. And repairing anything in your light bodies connected to the physicality, which is the densest part of our frequency as a soul. We have the soul vibrating through the body, and the more that we align the physicality of the body to that of the soul, the more we can embody the essence of bliss and soul alignment and peace in the heart, clearing all dissonance and all programs that are not self, not soul programs that are no longer serving this being, asking any wisdom to be absorbed, any soul knowledge or gifts to have the light of loving awareness shined upon them, and for each and every beautiful being to embody whatever it would serve the structure of their soul in the absolute highest, to re-embody over the coming days, weeks and months. And placing your hands over your heart, feeling the beating of your heart, feeling the way that your chest moves with your inhale and your exhale, and just connecting to the miracle impulses and processes that are going on inside of this divine vessel of yours. Food digesting and assimilating, emotions processing, blood is cleansing, every cell is now populating at the highest frequency. All low frequency DNA structures are now turned off in your command center. You've reprogrammed your cells and your being to function and vibrate at the frequency of your soul. Welcome yourself home fully. Release fear, release resentments, offering forgiveness to any part of yourself that needs it, compassion for the human experience, deep loving compassion, welcoming in the divine golden consciousness of Mother, the divine Mother frequency. And feeling the union, the inner union of your unique soul's essence. The structures of we could say the feminine and the masculine, or the the processes of the cerebellum and the cerebrum unifying, the way that you create structure and hold yourself through the day is recalibrating to hold and allow for the natural flow and essence of your soul, to allow for the flow and the streamlined process of oversoul out into the world through every single action, feeling the light of each palm now activated and connected to the heart. Every motion through today and the coming days stemming from the heart. Every time you stir a drink, prepare food, hug someone, you're now doing this connected to your oversoul, to the essence of you. And feeling a beautiful golden starlight frequency rain down through your whole body now, that gently seals this activation and your integration. I'm just checking in with yourself, with your soul. Is there anything that it would serve me to see or know in this moment through my heart? Please illuminate now anything it would serve me to receive from you, soul. And just asking through this lens of total connectedness, are there any steps that I can take in the physical world today to support myself? Trusting what you receive. And coming fully back into the body now, gently closing your quantum field and allowing for complete sovereignty of your own field. All of your field is back in your body now. All of my field is back in my body now. You may like to pause here and continue receiving or meditating. Source would just like to investigate a little deeper, so maybe you'd like to get out your journal or the notes section on your phone and investigate a little deeper as we are looking at self-mastery of our own frequency through the lenses of our inner being. So this transmission just stepped us through elevating our DNA through our light bodies from the quantum field. How can you support yourself? Source wanted you to investigate and write down the specific tools that are in your reality right now, and for us to offer some ideas from the field together about supporting yourself in mastering your own frequency and thus your own reality. Being the steerer, the creator of your own experience moment to moment. You have curated this exact moment wherever you are, however you're feeling, looking at this screen. It is all a reflection of something internally within the own prism of your being. In order to access the frequency of your soul, to evolve your consciousness to unconditional love, to unity with source, with your oversoul, with the oneness. So let's feel into the heart even more deeply. And just notice when we say the word bliss frequency, bliss consciousness, where are you? Just using your imagination to feel the frequency of bliss in your cells. For me, when I say this, I am laying on a beautiful white tropical beach. It's a warm, sunny day, and I'm almost sweaty, and I've had the perfect amount of sun kiss my skin. I'm in my bikinis and I feel so vibrant and alive in my body. I've spent the morning doing movement that felt so nourishing for me. I didn't have to push, it just came and flowed so naturally to move my body. On this morning, I did my cleansing practices, my neti, and I've done a coffee enema, and I've had a beautiful fruit breakfast, so I feel vital, alive. I had a meditation that was so calming and created stillness in my mind, and there's complete harmony between my heart and my mind and my actions, and I'm surrounded by people that I adore and people that adore me and are really positive in energy and charge, who love life and love adventure. And there's a real holiday feeling in the air. We're drinking coconuts and we have an adventure planned for the afternoon to go and jet ski out and see some dolphins in the sea and make friends with the dolphins, and go to a beautiful little private island that is completely uninhabited by other humans. And we have a fire and someone has a guitar, and the sun goes down and it's just the most incredible sunset I've ever seen. And I feel alive, I feel connected, I feel in tune with nature, in tune with the essence of my soul. And this is how I'm feeling and sensing bliss consciousness when I say that. So when you feel into what's true for you, what is that? What is that scene like? What evokes those feelings? Is there particular movements that your body does? What's the feeling in your heart? What songs are you listening to? Is there live recordings of songs that you can listen to on YouTube that tune you into that? Are there any practices that support your feeling of bliss? So just starting to get clear on what those things are. Maybe it's a poem, maybe it's painting. And just writing down how you can support yourself in embodying bliss consciousness, or whatever state you desire to feel. Don't allow me to be the creator of your reality. I'm simply offering a reflection here to you of what shimmies through me when I say to Source, I want to feel bliss. I would love to feel authentically blissful. How can I do this? Perhaps you'd like to invoke some other state, unconditionally loving or peaceful, or some other emotion that you can tangibly connect to in the quantum field. So now that we've visualized this, and perhaps you've started to feel some elevated frequencies, the transmission that we received before has been working in the cells of the body to support you in accessing this. Now, how this process usually goes is once we elevate our frequency, we shift our trajectory, more becomes available to us. If you want to do a little check-in right now with yourself as you look around at your environment, Notice how you're sensing things. Is there any difference or sameness? Or, does the world look any different to you? Is the charge inside of you any different? Just be with that. Let it be. And we don't need to make it fit a certain thing. Maybe you are grieving something really deeply as a soul. Perhaps there's still some sense of duality there for you when you tune back in to the world, and that's okay. That's perfect. Let that be there. It's not about forcing ourselves to feel a certain way. It's about letting the organic feeling and experience be there firstly, and then moving in alignment with the soul to intend to evolve. And unity, the frequency of peace, the frequency of joy and love, unconditional love, can be embodied in any state of experience that we are having as a human. We can be feeling complete rage, complete grief, complete devastation, and still invite in unconditional love. Or we can choose to have the experience, or perhaps we've been forced into having the experience that is the opposite of that, to show us, to give us a compass, reading, a guide as to this is what total disconnection from my soul feels like. And I've been there. It's showing us that we have the capacity to experience the full range of human emotion and experience. We can have any experience down here. I say down here, but I mean on earth. We're not down anywhere. But we can choose to have those experiences. When we have that disconnection at such a deep level from source, if we are accessing lifetimes in the underworld, or where we are completely cut off from our source, trusting that this is in the soul's course of returning, the death, the complete death and disconnection from source, is an illusion also, because we are always connected to source, but we're not always connected to the oversoul through source. There can be distortion or infiltration and many dark agendas that create this separation. And as part of the returning, as part of the re-embodying of our divinity, it's showing us so many things about the prism of total experience. And we can look at this through so many lenses, which is kind of why I'm struggling for words a little bit right now. But we can look at that experience of complete disconnection, complete polarity from our divinity, as the soul's learning, as the soul's return to divinity. And through the lens of frequency, this is simply just a frequency. So let me speak to my own personal experience around this. When I first galactically awakened, I had a huge karmic deficit that I needed to move through as a soul in order to embody my divinity. I had had lifetimes where I perpetrated and had to recall those experiences that I chose to go through as a soul, really harrowing, the most effed up things you could ever imagine. And the way that my soul had to come back into unity was to clear this karmic debt, this negative karmic debt. It wasn't to punish me, it wasn't to make me suffer, and I still have had to clear some of that from my subtle bodies in recent months around the soul's full forgiveness. Fully forgiving myself for past incarnations, alternate incarnations, perpetration of dark agenda. And this is why I went through this feeling of separation, of disconnection from source, because it was just the pendulum from past action in that this soul took soul forgiveness and a resurrection of those aspects of myself, of my divinity, from those places, from those timelines where they had been jarred, frozen, fractured, stuck. And I can't begin to tell you the level of liberation and bliss and the wisdom that has come from having to literally crawl out of those hell realms on numerous occasions to come back into some semblance of balance, and to know myself as one with my oversoul, with source, and to feel the love, the unconditional love and support that is available in every moment. So those experiences are just frequencies from many from a whole range of spaces, places. And when we are taking conscious control and saying, Source, I know I'm a creator. I know that I can be a pure, aligned vessel to serve through this soul, through my being, through this body. Clear me, align me to bliss, align me to divinity, remind me who I am so that I can serve in oneness to evolve human consciousness, so that their suffering frequencies and the dark agendas that have been infiltrating this place for too long can leave, can clear. And through the quantum lens, all time, everything is actually happening in this moment. So when you unite that self, when you come into the frequency of unity with Source, it's all actually already done. We have already returned in this frequency, in this moment of unity. And when we return to nothingness to the best of our capacity through meditation, feeling that 0 point, collapsing time, and just returning, letting go of the contrast, letting go of the stories, letting go of the self-concept completely. The story's gone. The unique soul fractal that you are dissolves, and you feel that unity with Source. This starts to neutralize your frequency, so you're not vibrating at bliss, you're not vibrating at hell or darkness, whatever you want to say. And don't confuse darkness with evil. That has been a huge teaching for me, because 0 point neutrality, nothingness, could be seen as, we could explain it as darkness, as the cosmic womb, as space, the place of all potentiality. But the force of darkness, or the place of darkness, and the force of evil, the force of goodness, are all different frequencies. So when I say darkness, I mean bliss or heavenly golden energy compared to evil, ill will agenda. So when I say 0 point, I don't mean evil. I don't mean darkness, 0 point as in evil. I mean complete neutrality. We're not then accumulating positive karma. We're not accumulating more bliss frequency, more bliss stories. We're stopping the pendulum swinging. And this has been a big foundation of the Buddhist movement in anchoring presence consciousness into the human psyche, into the human experience. And I've had lifetimes as a monk where I remember seeding this consciousness on planet Earth to return to neutrality, with then not accumulating negative karma, and we're not accumulating positive karma. We're simply just being. We are actualizing a human being in this now moment. And this is the potency of Eckhart Tolle's work too, the power of now. Returning to 0 point anytime we feel unsure about our next motions. Anytime we are desiring momentum to cease and a new answer to unfurl, return to 0 point. And cultivating this consciousness, this stillness consciousness, this 0 point awareness is the access point to the quantum field as well. So when we meditate, we return to stillness, return to nothingness, let the muddy water settle, the muddy water of the mind, and any momentum to cease inside. Clarity is there. We come into stillness. And from that space, as a conscious creator, tuning into the soul and allowing guidance to arrive in the highest, you can choose any intention from that space of neutrality. Maybe the neutrality is actually feeling like numbness to you. I've had this experience too, where I went from so much outer world fluctuation over my life, never having learned to sit still and meditate or even breathe deeply, not much sense of regulation at all, living from thought to thought, thinking that I'm my body, that I'm Tara, that I'm my mood. When I began to meditate, it actually caused a crisis in my inner being. The concept of self had to crumble in order for me to come to stillness, to nothingness. And the ego self, if we build the construct around being something, success in the outer world, and we come into that stillness within, it can cause us to go through a period of purging who we thought we were and shifting the structure, the concept of self, of the being to the soul. So when we don't know where to go or what to do, or we desire an answer from a deeper place, or we're forced to go inwards through illness or grief or some circumstance outside ourselves, it's Source directing us inwards to look at the inner landscape. And you can look at the story, at the situation. For example, let's just say I had a heart attack. I'm forced to rest. I'm forced to stop working. I'm forced to be with myself, maybe for the first time in 40 years. I need to look at something deeper within. Source is calling for me to scale everything back and look within. So, regular meditation practice, tuning in. I do this multiple times a day, sitting with myself. I have a morning meeting every single morning when I first wake up. First offering gratitude, feeling and accessing the highest frequency that I can in order to activate a positive momentum for the day. And some days that's not always possible. Some days I'm just vibrating at neutrality, sometimes bordering on numbness. Sometimes if we're moving out of a really overstimulated space or life back to neutrality, we can err towards numb or not feeling anything much at all, or feeling like that excitation if you're shifting out of addiction, emotional addiction, even physical addiction, to come into neutrality, stillness, to meditate and really be there. It's warrior training. You're literally repatterning the structures of the being to come into over and over and over and over and over and over again. Whatever you're practicing is what is showing up in your reality. So we can look at the story, we can look at the momentum. We can simplify it even further though, in the self-mastering of our life process, by looking at the frequency. Drop the story, drop the self-concept, come to neutrality and look at the frequency. I keep on having, and look at feel into it through the lens of the heart. That's what Source is offering. They're saying, for example, I keep having racing thoughts. So I keep looping on this same thought loop, this same belief, this same charge is still moving through my brain that's causing a chemical excitation in my body that's creating the feeling. So at the very simple core of that is, what is the frequency of that? How does it make you feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel awful? And this is where it can get a little bit tricky, and I want to keep it simple, but let's also remember that there are situations where we can have a body that's conditioned to not feel good. If we've experienced trauma, particularly trauma around pleasure or joy or connecting to our life force, we can actually have a confusion internally about what feels good for me. And this then confuses the signals of the body. So keep it simple to begin with. Let the frequency show you, reveal to you, I really wanted to smile at that person this morning who just looked so radiant at breakfast. I wanted to smile and say hello and have a conversation with them, but I felt this constriction inside of me, inside of my body. It was twisted. And instead of smiling at that person, I shut my heart down and I ignored them. So there's a duality happening there. There's the inner being, the lens of the inner being that's like, I want to follow this joy, I want to follow this vibrancy. And then this is where the program can clear through our awareness and our intention to connect to our oversoul, is by recognizing that dissonance. That is a not soul program that is running through your being. That's a distortion that wants to clear. And it wants to clear through you, shining the light of your awareness on it, noticing the frequency of it, and asking it to clear, asking it to shift. Source, I see this distortion in me. I felt that distortion in that moment. Thank you for this reflection. Thank you for illuminating this. Show me how to live safely in joy. Show me how to live safely connected to Source, safely connected to other beings and other soul-aligned beings who live in joy. Surround me with joy. Surround me with things and situations, people, places, conversations that remind me that I am worthy of joy. And watch it shift, watch it clear instantly. So bringing it back into the heart once more. I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but I trust that it's all channeling and serving every single soul in the field in their highest. I really feel that. I trust that deeply. And just notice now the main lenses of our inner being's architecture from a quantum view. So we work with the chakric systems in yoga. The things that Source really wants you to see through the lens of the quantum, the lens of the soul, is the heart. The transmitter of the heart is huge in the quantum field. It's where your oversoul can really do some deep shifting and work for you. So the main centers that will be shifting, moving, elevating, and being worked on over this integration from this transmission is the heart, the higher heart and the galactic heart, the mind, and the mind-heart resonance and connection, the coherence between the two of them via this, and also the sacral center, the womb, or the womb space for non-womb bearers. So even if you are in a body without a womb organ, you still have a sacral center, you still have an energetic womb space. And the womb is the portal to God, to Source. It is a soul can birth through there. It's where we receive and can open to receive our deepest soul's life work, our creation center. When we connect that and intend to connect that to our oversoul via our heart and align our power center to our heart, we are connected to infinity, to bliss, to limitlessness. There's literally nothing that's not possible. Possibility and limitlessness is your innate soul's frequency. So just breathe into limitlessness to close out this session together. The one last thing that Source is showing me here is your relationship to fueling your body. What are you ingesting through your senses consciously every day that would serve from lightening up? Where can you lighten up your food? Where can you eat more life? How can you speak more life into your words, into your relationship, into yourself? The way you talk about yourself, what you're watching, what you're consuming through your ears, music, movies, environments. Lighten your load through the sensory organs. It will impact the internal space and support you. Of course, you can code anything through your intention to support you in your evolution in the highest. That's the most potent charge, is your intention, your heart's deepest intention. But support yourself by choosing things that are evolving you to whatever charge you want to feel, bliss or connection to Source or love. So just placing your hand, one on your heart and one on your belly. Feeling connected to your oversoul once more. And offering deepest gratitude to all of you, each and every being in this space, receiving this transmission. I see you beaming, I see you completely lit up. I see your highest timeline actualizing. I see what your soul came here to actualize, completely actualized in this life. Your beautiful actions and output and relationships all in complete silky golden alignment with your soul. I feel you charged from the inside with the essence of your divinity, your Source running through you. lighting your every action. And I truly wish for every person to move with their free will connected to their higher self. May each decision be infused with the light of your soul. May you feel free. May you feel joyful. And may you feel self-mastered in your own vibration. And may you learn exactly what you need to and uncover exactly what you feel to as a soul around the architecture of your inner being and your vibration. Thank you for co-creating in this space today. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you.